Next News, breaking news.
Right now, the real story out of California is not just who wins, it's whether Americans can trust a system that takes weeks to tell them what happened on Election Day. While ballots keep trickling in, margins keep moving, and another so-called ballot dump lands after election night. The public is asking the most basic question: why does this keep happening? And just as that anger boils over, the Supreme Court is preparing to weigh in on late ballot counting in a case that could hit states like California right where it hurts. If that ruling lands hard, election month may be living on borrowed time. And here's why this matters. In a healthy republic, the count is supposed to confirm the result, not become the result. But in California, the counting process itself has turned into the headline. According to reports, millions of mail-in ballots remained uncounted. Los Angeles County was still processing huge batches, and late counted ballots were once again shifting margins in ways that predictably favored Democrats. Whether every ballot is legal or not, that's not the only issue anymore. The issue is public confidence. Because when people watch vote totals move for days, then weeks, while officials insist everyone should just be patient, trust starts collapsing. Steve Hilton said what millions are thinking: if Florida can count fast, if India can count hundreds of millions in a day, why is California dragging this out for 35 days? The answer voters keep getting is bureaucracy, excuses, and process. And President Trump and Republicans have been clear: speed, transparency, voter ID, proof of citizenship, and rules that actually mean something. And without that, suspicion grows and the system loses legitimacy in the eyes of the public. Speaking of systems designed to confuse ordinary Americans, there's another one hitting seniors right in the wallet. So pay attention to this, because if you or someone in your family is on Medicare, this directly affects your wallet. See, Medicare is confusing by design. The mailers, the robocalls, the fine print, the commercials, it's all meant to keep you overwhelmed, so you pick a plan and never look at it again. That is the Medicare confusion industrial complex. And seniors are paying for it without even knowing it. You see, Chapter is simple by design. One call, one advisor. They look at your doctors, your prescriptions, and your pharmacies, and then compare plans to help you find the right fit. Some seniors could save as much as $1,100 a year. So don't guess. Don't get pressured. Get real help from Chapter. Call the number you see on your screen, 910-728-4109 today, and make sure you're not overpaying for coverage that you don't even want. Now back to the election system. Americans are already being told not to question. Because here's the twist. This is no longer just a California embarrassment. It may become the national test case. The Supreme Court case out of Mississippi is now hanging over the entire debate on postmarked ballots, grace periods, and whether states can keep counting long after Election Day. If the justices slam the brakes on late arriving ballots, California's bloated system could suddenly face a legal reckoning. At the same time, Republicans in Washington are showing that they're one rule change away from passing tougher election protections right now. Trump Daily Post making it clear the Supreme Court is about to drop a massive ruling on mail-in ballots, which could affect California counting. The case could strike down election month and late ballot counting in multiple states. Yes, this is huge.
The interesting thing is that there is a Supreme Court case pending right now. The court's already heard it. We're waiting at this end of the term in June. We get all of these last decisions, the big ones. This one came out of Mississippi, and it deals with a state law that says how long you can count ballots after Election Day, if they're postmarked, what the grace period is there. So I can't wait. We're going to get opinions next Thursday. Maybe that's in the pile, but it's certainly something that could, be a big resounding ripple effect across the country based on what they decide in Mississippi.
Yeah, this all changed during COVID. And California changed, like they were on steroids, the way they were changing their election laws in 2001, just extending the grace period that they were giving so many people. And it's led to this. And, Shannon, it's flown under the radar because we've been focused on national elections 2 years ago and the midterms 2 years before that. But California, like determining the balance of power in the House, we've been waiting on California for 4 years now. And yet again, we've got this one. Meanwhile, in the Senate.
So the justice may be weighing in on a ruling with real consequences for states like California. Now Steve Hilton unloads the 35-day count, comparing it to Florida, even India, to show just how broken the system is. Trump Daily Post making it clear. Let me see. Is this the same clip?
The interesting thing is that there is a Supreme Court case pending right now. The court's already...
the same clip. I think I've got it. Okay, here it is. Steve Hilton erupts on California's mail-in ballots, saying India counts 640 million ballots in a day.
In November. Now let's get to this absolute shambles of an election count. It's actually way worse than the president just mentioned. It's not 6 or 7 or 8 days. Here's from the Secretary of State's website today, 35 days.
Oh!
That's the plan, 35 days. This is an absolute shambles, a humiliation for California. It is making our state a laughing stock here in America and around the world. We have less than 10 million votes cast in this election in California, and it's going to take them a month to count them. India, 640 million. They do it in a day. States here in America, look at Florida, how quickly they get their count out. Within hours, same sort of numbers. They have early voting too. They have mail-in voting too, but they can do it in an hour. Here it takes a month. It is an absolutely inexcusable, calamitous catastrophe of incompetence from the same crew who bought you high-speed rail.
Yes.
Now it's snail's pace elections. It's not good enough.
Steve.
And today, David, I'm laying out a plan to change this election count accelerator plan. Straight after this interview, I'll be going to a press conference to lay that out.
So he calls it a humiliation, and he's right. When counting takes weeks, trust collapses and the swamp cashes in. Next, President Trump lays out the fix, the Save America Act, with voter ID and proof of citizenship front and center.
So the Save America Act is all voters must show photo ID. So you go to vote and you show photo ID. Not complicated, right? You know, who could oppose it? They say it's an 80-20. It's not. It's about 99-1, and we'll never find the one person. Andy, congratulations, Andy, on a big victory.
Thank you for your help.
That's great. I appreciate it, but you're very good at what you do, and I've been backing you right from the beginning for a long time, right?
Backing you too, sir.
For years, that's right. You have. Thank you. Congratulations. You won a big election. So you have all voters must show photo ID identification. All voters must show a little thing called proof of citizenship. Would you say that's 99-1, Mr. Pennsylvania?
I would say that's maybe 100 to 0.
I would think so. They say
At least it should be.
No, but they say it's 80-20. It's not 80-20. It's 99. And we've never found the one person. There's another one. Then you have no mail-in ballots, but we want to be liberal, as they say. Or we'll say we want to be progressive. So it's no mail-in ballots. You see that's what's happening in California. They're rigging the election. Now, maybe we caught them, and maybe they won't be able to get away with it. They tried with me. They did it successfully the second time. The third time, we made it too big to rig. Too many votes. They couldn't do it. They can only go. They sort of gave up at about 9:07 when they got slaughtered with the votes that came in. But no mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. So we're being very progressive, and we just don't want cheating in our elections. And you see it happening in California. Those numbers are coming down rapidly. They found a lot of mail-in ballots last night, shockingly. So we don't want that. Then we added best of. This is best of Trump. No men in women's sports. No transgender mutilization surgery for our children. I would say that's pretty close to 99-1 also. No men in women's sports. I would say that's pretty good. We had the quarterback, Jackson, is the quarterback for the Giants. He's a big, strong guy. And I said, how do you think you do in women's sports, Jackson? He said, pretty good, sir. He didn't know I was joking. He was not worried, let me put it that way. He would have been the greatest athlete in the history of women's sports. You got to see the size of this guy. Like a male model, and he's going to be a great quarterback. So we talk about that. And so we just would like the Senate, Democrats, Republicans, to pass it.
So Trump's message is simple. Secure the vote, shut down the cheating loopholes. Now look at what's happening in Los Angeles, where another late ballot drop is moving Democrat numbers and raising fresh red flags.
We are at LA County's massive processing center. This is the location where all of the ballots are supposed to be shipped and counted. And in the latest ballot dump, LA County says it processed 81,000 votes since the first big election night numbers, but there's still 688,000 to go. Karen Bass is strengthening her lead, picking up about 12,000 votes yesterday. Spencer Pratt added about 6,000 and remains in second. Third place, Nithya Raman added nearly 11,000 votes, eating away at Pratt's lead. Now, in the governor's race, an estimated 60% of the vote is processed. Republican Steve Hilton remains number one. Democrat Javier Becerra picked up 158,000 votes and is closing in on Hilton within about 1 percentage point. Democrat Tom Steyer in third. Now, the most recent mail-in ballots that were processed are favoring Democrats, as many analysts suggested they would. Inside the ballot processing center here in LA County, any ballot that was postmarked by Election Day Tuesday must be counted by law. The process takes so long in part because each ballot must have its signature verified, and if there's an issue, there's a 10-day period to have it cured. California's Secretary of State is defending it all, writing, "Accuracy comes before speed." California is the nation's largest voting state with millions of ballots to process and count. Taking the time to do this work correctly protects voters' rights and ensures the integrity of our election. Now, the state of California...
Yeah, sure. So after watching the ballot totals keep shifting, it's no wonder America wants hard safeguards in place. Now the Senate proves the fight is real. Mike Lee forces a Save America Act vote, and it lands at 50. This break-in overnight, Save America Act got 50 votes thanks to Senator Susan Collins voting in favor of Mike Lee's amendment. They just proved it can get 51 votes with J.D. Vance as the tiebreaker. This version of the bill still contains voter ID and proof of citizenship, but it needed 60. So no more excuses. Nuke the filibuster. Lee says this is the House-passed version of Save America, which still secures our election to a very strong degree. So what does it all really mean? It means that the fight is no longer just about access, it's about credibility. Democrats built a vote-by-mail machine during COVID. In states like California, well, they never want to give it up. The result is exactly what Americans see now: endless counting, shifting margins, and a public that feels locked out of the process. That's why the Supreme Court case matters. That's why the Save America Act matters. And that is why President Trump's America First movement is winning the argument. In the Senate, Republicans just proved voter ID and proof of citizenship can get 50 votes, with Vice President J.D. Vance available as a tiebreaker. The path is there. The only thing standing in the way is the Senate filibuster and the usual establishment excuses. So the bottom line is very simple. If your election system takes a month to count fewer than 10 million votes, people are going to doubt it. That's not irrational. That's common sense. Confidence is earned through clear rules, fast reporting, secure ballots, voter ID, and transparency from start to finish. California has become the symbol of what happens when government puts process above credibility, and now the country is watching. The good news is this, that under President Trump, Republicans are no longer pretending this is normal. They are pushing fixes. They are exposing the mess. And if the Supreme Court delivers a strong ruling on ballot deadlines, this whole rotten election month model could start collapsing. So here's my question for you. Should every state be required to finish counting by Election Day? Yes or no? Drop your answer in the comments and share this report with someone who still thinks 35-day counting is acceptable. If you want more unapologetic America First coverage, subscribe to the Next News Network right now. But more importantly, go ahead and text that word, raw feed, those words, to 844-840-4963. I'm done with it. I'm so fed up with it. I'm cutting out the middleman. I'm cutting out YouTube directly because I've heard your complaints. I've heard your cries. I'm not getting notifications. I don't find you in my feed anymore. So this is the solution. I will send a direct message to you Monday through Friday. when the news drops, so you can check it, so you can review what we've covered for the day, and you can make informed decisions for yourself and your family. And now I want you to celebrate. Celebrate America 250. We got some new merch in the merch shelf below this video. Pick something out and let's celebrate together.
The system controls information. Information control is power.
They don't want you to see this.
The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.